Welcome to Catapult Medieval Siege. Here I have two replicas of medieval weaponry. This is what's called a torsion catapult. How this works is that they would have horsehair tied tightly in there. They would twist and turn these with lots and lots and lots of strength, which would create what's called potential energy. Then they would pull down with horse strength and then let go, and a projectile would fly to crash into a castle. This is called a torsion catapult. Now, if this were a 6 foot tall person, this contraption would be over 25 feet tall. A real feat of physics for breaking down someone's castle. Let's shoot it quick. So what would happen is they would take a horse or several horses and pull this down. Lots of tension. And they have a projectile inside. 3, 2, 1. Wow! That is a torsion catapult. Next, I have here what's called a trebuchet. Now, a trebuchet is an even more advanced piece of machinery to knock down someone's castle. Inside of here would be heavy weights. In the one that I've constructed, it has 82 pennies inside of this. When I let this go, gravity pulls this down, pulling this lever arm up. Watch carefully. And a projectile would be thrown. Let's see what we can do. It is now locked and loaded. Pull the trigger mechanism, launches a projectile. The torsion catapult and the trebuchet, medieval weapons of destruction. Now today, you are going to make your very own catapult using household items that will launch a projectile. Here we go. You will need a roll of tape, 13 popsicle sticks, 1 Dixie cup, 1 rubber band, and a pair of scissors. Everything you'll need for Catapult Medieval Siege. Step number 1 is to tape 3 popsicle sticks end to end. I'll start with 1. I initially take a piece of tape and I place the tape so that half of the tape is covering one half of the popsicle stick while I place another popsicle stick on the other end. Then I simply twist, 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 just like that. Now, before I go any further, I want to reinforce either side of this tape joint. The way that I do that is by placing another piece of tape, half on the tape and half on the popsicle stick. And then I simply twist it again, maybe 3 times. I have that side reinforced. I now will reinforce this side. I'll place this piece of tape right in the middle and begin again to twist. I will do the exact same thing one more time so that I have 3 popsicle sticks end to end. Again, placing half in the other half, twisting 1, 2, 3, tearing it off, and then I'm going to reinforce both of those tape joints. 1, 2, and again, another reinforce right here, just like that. At this time, you will make 3 identical to this. You have now created 3 identical catapult sticks just like this. 1, 2, 3 times 3. At this time, what you're going to do is bend your sticks so that you make a triangle. I will now tape one side to the other, twist it down very carefully, and I will take another piece of tape to secure this. One around the side, and one more to secure the other joint. Just like that. Just as I made 3 like this, I'm now going to make 3 triangles. I will now construct the other 3 triangles. Go. I now have 3 triangles created. I'm now going to create the base of our catapult. First, I will tape 2 of our triangles together, just like this. One piece of tape, wrapping around and around and around, taking a second piece of tape to secure my 2 triangles, just like that. Once I've completed this step, I will turn it and open my triangles so that I can fit my 3rd triangle inside. Let me show you that again. We just taped here. I'm now going to turn those connected pieces and simply open up my triangles to slip in my 3rd triangle. This is going to be the base of our catapult. I now will tape the base of the catapult just as I taped the previous section. One piece of tape around securing the base. I'll place another piece of tape on the other side. And now to that remaining joint. Our base is almost finished. And now I have my catapult base. 3 triangles placed together. Go. The next step in our process for Catapult Medieval Siege is to build the throwing arm. The throwing arm is constructed with 4 different popsicle sticks. Let me show you how. First, just like our initial step, we tape 2 together end to end. Let's do that now. I will start by placing half the tape on one of the popsicle sticks and placing the other popsicle stick on the other half. I will then carefully spin and secure this joint. I will also do, as I did before, a reinforcing joint on the other side of the tape. I'll do that again as well. Fantastic. Now, since this throwing arm is going to be experiencing a lot of tension, we're going to place a 3rd popsicle stick in the middle of those 2 joints. I'll secure it with tape in several places. First, on the end. Second, on the other end. And third and finally, I will place some tape right in the middle where that joint joins together. Fantastic. We have 1 popsicle stick left. All we have to do now is tape this popsicle stick to the bottom, just like that. We're doubling up. Notice that I am not leaving a gap. You can see the gap right there. I don't want to do that. Instead, I place the popsicle stick just like that. Again, I'll use 3 tape joints, 1 on the end, one in the middle, and one more in the center. We now have completed our throwing arm. Now, it's your turn. This next step is probably the hardest, but don't be afraid. When I lay down my catapult, I'm going to insert the thick end of my throwing arm into the corner of my base. Let me show you. Takes a little bit of work to separate and push it through. There we go. I will now tape that throwing arm to the body, spinning it around near the bottom several times. There we go. In addition, I'm going to put a piece of tape over where the triangles meet. I might do that several times. One, maybe do a different direction. Two, and a third, covering all the legs of my base. You may ask, why so much tape? Well, as I pull down on my throwing arm, it's going to create a lot of tension through our triangular base. If you find that in any place along your catapult, you're beginning to see an area of weakness, simply add more tape. I now have my throwing arm attached. Now, it's your turn. Now, it's time to add our rubber band. Very simple. You're going to add the rubber band in the middle of the back of our base. I will have two elephant ears, so to speak, right there. I will place tape across there right now, securing the rubber band. I will also place tape to reinforce around this joint. Now, I don't want to tape my throwing arm down, so I'm going to be very careful and see if I can sneak it underneath, just like that. Pull this up just a smidge, put this guy down, and tape it around. Notice how I snuck it under and around. In the same way, I'm going to do the same to the top part of that tape to reinforce. Again, not taping down my throwing arm, but sneaking it around just to make it secure. Now that I have my rubber band taped and I have elephant ears sticking out, I'm going to reach this through and grab it here. Again, reach here, grab here, pull it down, and carefully place this rubber band around the throwing arm. I'll now do the exact same thing with the other elephant ear. Reach, pull through, pull over the top of my throwing arm. If in this process your rubber band breaks as you are leaning it around your throwing arm, simply repeat the last step and start over. No problem. At this time, I'm going to tape my rubber band to my throwing arm. Small piece of tape, twisting it around several times, securing the rubber band to our throwing arm. Fantastic. We are very close to a completed catapult. Your turn. All right, hang in there. We're almost there. Next, you'll take your Dixie cup and cut off half of your Dixie cup. We need a small throwing bucket. This will be attached to the throwing arm. You can discard that piece, and we will attach this bucket to the throwing arm at the top. It might be a good idea to leave a small bit of your throwing arm exposed. I'll now tape my bucket carefully to the throwing arm in several directions. If you're having trouble, ask a neighbor. I will also do a third direction just like that. I have now completed my catapult, Medieval Siege. Your turn. You have now created your very own catapult, Medieval Siege. It's now time to launch some projectiles. Notice that at the top, I left a little section of popsicle that I can pull it down with my finger. I can insert a marshmallow, hold the base at the bottom, carefully pull down, and let her rip. I would encourage you not to pull too far. You don't want to break your throwing arm. Woo! Yeah! Catapult! Medieval Siege!